Okay, what we have here is a Carter disc cylinder separator. I urge you, if you have one of these or if you find one, to build a C-channel frame down here and to build you a place for your forklift to pick it up so you can move it around or store it. Because if you pick it up here, this is just sheet metal, and you will crush in your indent drum underneath and create a lot of work for yourself. I'm going to stress at the very beginning of the video to make sure that you have the proper motor in running these. It requires a low RPM. Do not, I repeat, do not put a 1750, 1800 RPM motor and expect the machine to work. This one is 1155 RPM right here. On this unit, it is a 1170 RPM. 3 horsepower or 2 horsepower is sufficient. These discs must turn at the correct speed. This auger shaft right here and here on this machine with the guard off turns at 285 RPM. If nothing has been changed on this side, your 285 RPM corresponding through these will turn the discs at the proper speed. It's usually about 60 revolutions per minute, 60 RPM, 55 to 60, right in there. Very important. We find a lot of these units have the wrong motor, and then people say, well, that never worked. That machine never separated. Well, that's right, because you're not using it correctly. This unit is 2 disc mills in one, and also an indent drum in the bottom, which you can't see here. We'll lift it up. But it's 2 disc mills in one. This is a quick side note. This particular machine was at one time equipped with an aspirator that went on top here. These shields would not be here. We have them off for the video. There would be an aspirator here with a fan to suck the trash and scalp the grain. This would have been an all-in-one exclusive mill, certified seed from bin run on cereal grains, rye, wheat, oats, etc. That's what the literature talks about. Here's a picture of the indent drum. That's most always a number 22 drum for oats. Grain is fed into here. And this enters the first section of discs. Right here. You can see the sunlight back there. That's where the grain is going to enter. And it's going to move from the right to the left. It's going to pick up your wheat, your rye, anything barley, and they get bigger as they go down. It's going to throw it into this conveyor auger right here, right down here, and that's going to convey it back to the right. Now what these discs reject will be longer, like an oat or something like that. Your stems, anything longer than your wheat and rye. And it's going to then kick it out here. And there's a gate here that you can reach in and move up and down, and that's the duration of how long you want it in there. You will know that you are overfeeding it if wheat and rye is getting kicked out here, because the discs don't have time to pick it up and throw it out front. On your wheat and rye, this will be stems and heads and things. There's a bypass flapper right here. That will go directly to your indent if you were doing oats. Oats would be coming out here. Then the indent would take out anything smaller than your oats. But you're going to just bypass this to the trash. Come out this spout right here. Now let's say that this is kicking out something that you don't want this auger to convey to the right. Needs more time in the disc mill. You have these gates that come up, slide forward, create a wall, if you will, to make it go back in the discs. A lot of people say, well, it's not working, it's kicking everything out I don't want, and they never see these down here, but they just hang there. They can't see them. They never even know they're there. So now, everything that's bigger than your wheat has been thrown out here. Vetch, chips, broken wheat, weed seed, it's all being conveyed over here to the right. Comes through the machine into your small discs. You see the small pockets? They go all the way down there. And there's a flipper in here that flips it into, there's a flipper on this shaft, into this disc. There's even some back there behind that you can see behind this shield. Now these discs cannot pick up your rye, your wheat, barley, things like that. They then start taking everything smaller. See all them small pockets? They graduate in size and they throw that all down in this short auger and this discharge spout, which is down there. And as it goes further down the disc, they get bigger in size. The pockets get bigger, and then you'll be throwing your vetch out here. These have the same gates. If you did not want, if it was throwing out wheat or something that you wanted to keep, you would put these up and send it back in the disc mill. Goes right down there. There's actually a flapper to divide that, because you might be getting pure vetch over here and weed seed and splits and bad vetch on this side. So there's a gate, a quadrant that moves back and forth down here. Okay, everything smaller than your wheat or rye now has been taken out. We come to the outside of the machine. Kind of bright out here. Here is where your wheat and your rye are going to be coming out. Wheat or rye, clean. And here's this thing again that you can pick up, block it off if you wanted, and that keeps it in there longer if you need it to clean it longer. It keeps it in there and it has to throw it out over here. Or if you just don't have very much in there, you probably want to be trucking it through. So on this side, you're going to be picking up your cleaned rye or wheat, barley, etc. I hope that makes sense. It's pretty simple. Most of the time, I think you won't be using the indent unless you're cleaning oats in here. So, if that's the case, to save wear and tear on your machine, you can take this guard off here and you could remove the chain so that your indent is not running. Save wear and tear on your sprockets. We have picked up the machine so that you can see the indent drum Still a little dirty even after we washed it. These things get very dusty. Now you see the indent drum separates by length, just like the discs. But what's nice about these machines is graduated size. If you had indent drums, you would just have one size. See, that's a number 22, the full length. The discs have graduated sizes. Here's the discharge spout where your fines and your vetch, anything smaller than your wheat. And we have also used these on fescues. We have used them on orchard grass. You will find in the literature, which you'll see at our website. Now remember up there we had a bypass. So now we want to open the bypass and put it directly in the indent drum down here. Okay? So we go to the other side, and an indent drum turns and has an auger. A lot of people say, well, how do them work? You can't really see in this one. That's the problem. There's an auger right here in a trough that you can pivot. It's in a V shaped. It's in a V shape like this, and you can turn it up. You can flip it all the way over to clean it out. And it's adjusted by this crank. So anything that these pockets pick up is carried to the top and is dropped into that auger that's in the middle of this tube. Gravity drops it in the middle. Everything that will not fit into these pockets comes out right here. Right here. You can see I can reach up in there. And if these have been setting a while, you have to take them apart and kind of clean them, because the pockets get caked up with dust and dirt. I want to go over some general maintenance that needs to be done periodically, or when you want to switch varieties. When you quit at the end of the season, you want to clean this out. These discs will get nice and shiny as they're running grain. They'll stay shiny. You want to clean it out. And you want to clean it out if you're doing lots and lots of bushels. What happens is people don't clean them out, and a rock or something will lay down here in the bottom. These are going to be running full of grain, and the rock will start to cut a groove in your disc along here. So periodically you want to come to the side. You want to reach in here, pull this slide tray out. What that does is it drops all the grain that's under those discs out on the floor, and then you got to vac it up. Be down here, in here. Now these augers also, you don't want to leave them full because the mice get in there and just ruin everything. These augers have doors that drop open, and when you find these, they might be seized up. You got to gently work with them and get them all oiled back up to get them to work. So that's how you clean it out. Blow it out, clean it out, leave the doors, everything open so the mice can't run around through the machine. And then when you're ready to come back and use it, you put it all back together, get ready to go, and you're good to go. So keep your machine clean. Don't let rocks build up in the bottom. Even small ones will wear lines in the cast iron. Always have the correct motor. These machines require low RPM motors. And also turn it the correct direction. When you open this door to look at your discs and to see what the separation is doing, don't forget your doors right here. Your door, in case you want to keep that in. Don't forget the correct rotation. These discs should be rolling to you, like they're going to roll over you when you open this door. Very important to have the correct rotation. They will not do anything if you're running them backwards. If they're rolling away from you, you're running it backwards. We're going to run it here in just a little bit. we have the disc running. Can't really see them. Here's an inspection port. This is where your drain will be entering. Clean. Move your door up and down. Your augers in there working. Now when you start this machine, it'll take a little while for it to fill up. Really a simple machine and quiet. You may even want to put some ports on it. Like there's a port right here, and you can draw a suction on it. Because what this is going to do is actually going to polish your drain also. You're going to get all this fine dust on it. And this whole cabinet will just get real dusty. It'll be all dusty in here. So if you have some suction on it, you'll be able to get some of that out. Here's your things if you want to send this out the end. This is throwing out something you don't want in here. Then you would put these up and you'd send it out the end. That would cover your auger. Got the same adjustment. A lot of these are never seen right here. Simple and effective. Here's the indent drum going around under the machine. You'll be bypassing this, I think, most of the time. Now if you have to pull this apart to clean it, it comes out from this end. You want to be very cautious and very patient that you don't break these castings. You won't find replacements too handily from Carter Day. Now in setting your indent drum, you've got settings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've got an arrow here in this casting. You can turn your trough where you want it to pick up. On the newer ones you can look in there and see your trough, but you're kind of blind. You just got to go by the arrows here. On these. Make sure and grease everything. Take care and to grease everything. This thing will run a long, long time. Now a lot of people say, well, how do you get the numbers on a disc mill? I'm going to go over that right now. There's two sets of numbers. First, you will count how many discs are in it, in the machine, all the way across. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And back here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So we're at 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 total. 12 at the beginning, all the way to the right, 33 total. Now, so there you have the number 33. Now you go to the diameter. The diameter of the disc across, 21 inches. So you have a 2133 disc drum cylinder separator made by the Carter Day Company. Now the other numbers we'll have to get a flashlight for and show you where they're at. Okay, here you have some discs that are removed out of a disc machine. They come in all different sizes. The pockets can be square or rounded. These are rounded. They have letter designation. You can see this is about as big as your thumbnail. This is an N, as in Nancy, disc. What we're looking for is those numbers I showed you on the smaller 15-inch disc, but it's harder in the machine. You gotta have a flashlight, and it's back there. That one is an R5. Also gives you an arrow direction to turn it so you install it correctly. And then they increase in size. Now that one you'd have to turn the drum, you'd have to turn the machine until you found it on the disc. Each one will be marked, but it's a slow, patient process to find it. Once you do that, from the feed in to the discharge in, then you will know what the machine is set up for. And here is another R5. And then here's a V5.5. And as we progress, you'd probably run into some V6s, and then maybe on the end an L. A general description of the disc mill, hoping that you have a better understanding on how to run one and how it works.